Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Man stabbed to death by a woman in Wellington Town. A man was stabbed to death by a woman in Wellington Town, Kingston East, at the weekend. The deceased is 27-year-old Roger Kelly, otherwise called Jigger, a musician of Dunwoon Avenue, Kingston 2. Police reported that about 10 p.m. on Friday, Kelly got into an argument with a woman when another woman intervened and stabbed him with a pair of scissors. The police were summoned and he was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Manchester man accused of stealing shopkeeper's keys, breaking into shop. A man was charged after he allegedly stole a shopkeeper's key and accesses the premises in Watermount District Force in Manchester on Wednesday. Charged with shop breaking and larceny of a dwelling is 21-year-old L.J. Smith of Redbury District Force in the parish. Reports from the Perth police are that about 2 p.m., a man left his grocery shop keys and his cellular phone on his bed and went to the back of the house to do a task. Upon his return to the room, he noticed that the shop keys and his cellular phone were missing. The following day, the man was reportedly informed that Smith was using the keys to enter his shop unauthorized. The shop owner reported the matter to the police and Smith was apprehended and searched. During the search, the man's shop key were reportedly found in Smith's possession. Following a question and answer session with his attorney, Smith was charged. However, his court date has not been finalized. Phillips says the transport sector needs designated enforcement body. Opposition spokesman on transport Michael Phillips says the transport sector needs a designated enforcement body. His response follows concerns raised by a recent virtual meeting of the Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services STADS about overcharging in the record system. Mr. Phillips says he believes the Transport Authority, operating both as a regulating body and an enforcement body, is affecting the proper and effective operations of the record service. He believes the transport sector should speak with one voice.
The Transport Authority was set up as a regulating body. It has morphed itself in a regulating and enforcement body. I've always said that the enforcement side to the public transport should be removed from the Transport Authority and they regulate the sector. And then with that comes even also with the dealing with the records and all of that. If we are to talk plainly, there's too much corruption in the record system. And that is something within the new year that has to be looked at and dealt with. I believe that the Transport Authority ought to get back to its core function of regulating and leaving enforcing for another body. What body that is, we'll have to decide on the makeup of that body. But I don't think that the Transport Authority ought to be doing enforcing and regulating at the same time. Part of the problem within the sector is that the sector itself is more political than both political parties. And what has happened is that it suffers because the sector itself has not been able to speak with one voice. What I would love to see is seeing the sector more vocal, coming together as a unified body. The voice of the sector is more powerful than any spokesperson or any minister. That it doesn't have to be that you're going to lock down the sector. But if everybody come to the table and speak with one voice, believe me, be it PMP or JLP in power, you will see that you will get way more done.
3 women at the helm of Lucy Fire Station. For the first time ever in the 152-year history of the Jamaica Fire Brigade JFB, women are in 3 top leadership positions within one division. Superintendent Terry Leslie was recently made divisional commander of the Lucy Fire Station in Hanover. Assistant Superintendent Tamara McLaren is her second in charge with responsibility for operations, while District Officer Kelly Wright is in charge of the Fire Prevention Department. It is not unusual to see women in leadership positions in the JFB, and 2 women have in the past held the top posts in the Kingston and St. Andrew division. But never before has there been a division led by 3 women. Leslie has described the feat as historic. What makes it even better is the connection between her deputy, McLaren, and herself. They trained together and started their careers with the JFB at the same time. In addition, at some point, all 3 women work alongside each other in the St. James division. However, as their development continued within the organization, they took separate paths. Leslie ended up in Kingston as head of the Research and Development Department, McLaren moved to Hanover as the second-in-command, and shortly after was joined by Wright, who moved to the parish to head the fire prevention department. For Leslie, their progress is a clear indicator of the faith placed in the women of the JFP and recognition that they are capable of leading alongside their male counterparts. Leadership is not gender-based, management is not gender-based, it is you having the drive and the tenacity to lead. So regardless of the fact that this is a male-dominated organization, no one should look at it to say females cannot do just the same, she told reporters. She pointed out that the JFP now employs women in several top positions at the national level. Currently, our high-serving female fighter is that of an assistant commissioner, and followed by that, we have a senior superintendent who is acting as deputy commissioner, Leslie revealed. So, where leadership and females are concerned, that is nothing to be worried about or fearful about. Her batchmate and second-in-command, McLaren, is also quite happy to be part of their history-making team. The goal, she said, is to build on the successes the division has accomplished over the years. It is a good feeling. I know that with the 3 females that are here now, we know we can take Hanover to the next level. Seeing that we are a part of history, we are going to make every effort to see that our leadership is noticed by the hierarchies, she vowed. Wright is looking forward to her continued growth and development alongside her peers. It feels good to be part of a male-dominated organization, knowing that once you give them the respect, they in turn will provide that level of respect, she stated. That ties in with the approach Leslie intends to take in her time at the helm of Lucy. One major goal will be to maintain the high standards that she has come to appreciate within the organization. When I joined the service in 1996, I joined at a level of high standards of leadership in terms of having high expectations of members of staff. Going to Kingston allowed my standard to be more solid because working at the headquarters, the commissioner was my immediate supervisor, and that standard was not lowered in any way, she stated. Coming to Hanover Division, coming back to the area, I will continue to uphold my standards, continue to serve the Jamaica Fire Brigade. This has already been indicated in the Hanover members of staff that I am expecting the level of standard. Being the head of the division, I am not only there as a figurehead, but to emulate and to lead by example, Leslie added. Farmers encouraged to increase security during festive season. The Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA, is encouraging farmers to increase security around their farms, especially during the festive season. Senior Livestock Specialist with RADA, Maxine Brown, said farmers can invest in technology to keep their farms safe. Farmers can use motion detectors with light, so when movement takes place, the light will come up and alert you that something is not right at your farming area. You can then call a police officer to come and investigate your farm, she told reporters in an interview. Brown said the police will also be able to advise farmers on security based on the location of their farms and how animals are kept. Based on where your farm is located, they can tell you what may be potential areas of weaknesses for which somebody can breach your farm. You can use that information to strengthen aspects of your farm, she further stated. In addition to getting help from the police to protect farms, Brown recommended that farmers who live near each other should work together. It's easy for persons to form WhatsApp groups. Farmers producing in a particular area can create a group so that if somebody else sees something or hears something, they can quickly type a text so everybody can know that something is not right and go out and check it out together, she said. Meanwhile, RADA is also encouraging farmers to be careful while doing business transactions during the festive season. The livestock specialist explained that thieves can come and take all the farmers' animals, including those that the farm have no intention of selling. Because of this, she is advising farmers to separate their livestock. If you select the animal that you want to sell, when a person comes to your farm to purchase, don't show them all your animals. You don't want them to go close to where you have the other animals so that they can scoop out your area or scoop out your farm and come back and rob you later on, she said. Brown is also encouraging farmers to do cash transactions at police stations or banks instead of on the farm. You also don't want to do these transactions at night. Try to do them in the earlier part of the day where everybody can see everything clearly and you can see your surrounding and know what is taking place and if anything is looking too suspicious. If you're just not sure, sometimes you have to follow your instincts, she stated. Please remember to subscribe, like, share,